I hope, if there's nothing else I can communicate today, Donald Trump is temporary. He'll be gone in 3 years. California is a stable and reliable partner in this space. And it's important for folks to understand the temporary nature of this current administration in relationship to the issue of climate change and climate policy. So am I. There's probably not a politician in the United States. I mean, I'm under assault attack by this guy every single day. Here's the President of the United States. He's 80 years old, and he's calling me a nickname that an 8-year-old called me, NewScum. The President of the United States. You saw the racist tropes he put out. This is the President of the United States of America. Call this guy out. Stop this timidity. Made some pretty aggressive comments in Davos. I think I handed out knee pads on stage for, corporate leaders, sold out universities, law firms in my country that are selling out. You just got to call this stuff out. Look, the polluted heart of the climate crisis is big oil, period, full stop. That's what this is all about. I mean, that's where the politics, that's where the timidity comes from. You talk about the tech stack. You can't get in one of these modern new vehicles and ever want to go back to the old gas guzzler. I mean, the technology, and we can talk in terms of just energy efficiency and how we bring down costs, and we've got to address those cost issues. But the biggest problem is the deceit and the denial that's happening because of these special interests. And so you just have to have the courage to call it out. And I agree with you. It's infuriating what I hear privately, but is not expressed publicly. And so we have to call people out. They'll be held to account. They will be judged and ultimately judge themselves. And I think this is a moral moment, across the board, simultaneous crisis, not just climate, but democracy, all this stacking of stress. And we all have a relationship to it. Society becomes how we behave. We are our behaviors. And so all of us have a role to play. All of us have agency. We can shape this conversation, but we have to stand up with more clarity, conviction, and we have to be more consistent.
People don't speak up because they're afraid of retaliation.
Yeah. Well, buck up. So am I. There's probably not a politician in the United States. I mean, I'm under assault attack by this guy every single day. Here's the President of the United States. He's 80 years old, and he's calling me a nickname that an 8-year-old called me, NewScum. The President of the United States. You saw the racist tropes he put out. This is the President of the United States of America. Call this guy out. Stop this timidity. When I was in Belém, we signed 22 MOUs with 22 states in Brazil. And the MOUs are not pieces of paper, they're commitments from the state of California to provide technical assistance and to provide resources and a resourceful mindset, meaning an openness to engage in problem solving. Let me give you a specific example. The modern environmental movement in the United States, again, started in California under Ronald Reagan. Not because Ronald Reagan was a fierce champion of clean air and clean water until he had to be. Los Angeles was so smoggy that businesses were complaining to the governor saying, we can't do business here. So he decided to do something about it with tailpipe. And that's exactly why Donald Trump just said, pollute the hell out of the United States. That's called deficit spending. Pollution is an act of theft in the health of a nation and the cleanup costs. You saw all this just in the United States of America alone, 23 weather-related events last year that cost the taxpayers over $1 billion. We are, again, as dumb as we want to be. Don't tell me this is about saving money. Quite the contrary. But it was interesting, and this is the point, the folks in China paid some attention. We established relationships with China. They send technical teams, and literally some of their low-carbon green growth specific to their cap and trade programs came from the example of California and the work we did. And Beijing is proof positive of a lot of that technical assistance and support. So that's at scale the kind of work we do in terms of this relationship, nationally, subnationally, people to people, to actually solve problems despite, again, who's in office in a particular jurisdiction.
Governor, Chinese electric vehicle manufacturers are actually producing high-quality vehicles at lower price than U.S. competitors, right? Given California's 2035 zero-emission vehicle mandate, do you believe the state can realistically meet those targets without access to Chinese EVs?
Well, if there's any state that can, it's California. But look, my state of mind, let's clarify. 70% of global EVs are coming from China. And it's statecraft for them. It's about supply chains. It's about influence. It's about dominance. These guys aren't screwing around. I say this with admiration. They're flooding the zone in Europe. They're flooding the zone in South America. I mean, what Donald Trump just did yesterday with the endangerment finding by basically eliminating any federal regulations, not just on power plants, methane, but also tailpipe emission, I think was writing a death sentence to legacy American automobile manufacturers. Mm-hmm. You talk about innovation. It's been California's regulation in this space that's driven manufacturing innovation that allows American automobile manufacturers to be competitive globally. It's no longer just cheap. I mean, sure, the BYD Lamborghini Mini, it's $9,700. They're no longer just, now they're doing 5-minute chargers. Fill up your SUV. It's about 5 minutes. It's the tech stack that comes on top of it. And it's a whole generation of young folks. Don't bet against young folks. They bat last, they bat 1,000. We know where the market's going. China gets it. Look at their GDP growth last year. Where was their GDP growth disproportionately? It was in the clean energy space. This is about economic prosperity and competitiveness. And that's why I'm so infuriated with what Donald Trump has done. It's our fiercest competitor moving forward, China, in this space. So California is it. It's the only game left in the EV space. Again, because of the intense investment in R&D. Remember, Tesla exists for one reason: California's regulatory market, which created the incentives and the structure and the certainty that allowed Elon Musk and others to invest and build that capacity. We are not walking away from that. In fact, again, we have doubled down and extended our nation-leading efforts through 2045.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.